right, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakodash. Double honors unto our apostles and elders, the great millstone and rule well. And much peace and blessings to the elect. All the sense of Akim out there that's pushing this 1% truth with all sincerity, faith, and charity. Okay, all of the believers out there, peace and blessings. Okay, I'm just going to go into the spirit another week out here, prophesy the downfall of America and the waking up or the activation of the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay, who are the only souls on this earth that the Lord is going to give that ultimate mercy to in the first go around. Okay, because mass death, mass destruction is coming to the earth. Throughout the four corners of the earth, there's going to be mass death and destruction. Okay? And the elect of the nation of Israel are the only ones that's going to make it through to the other side, unscathed. Okay? This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 16, and verse 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Okay, Babylon, first and foremost, you have ancient Babylon, and you have the daughter of Babylon. Okay, and this is future prophecy. This is end time prophecy of today. This Babylon that is speaking of is America, the so-called United States of America. Okay, so it says, woe, which means destruction, be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Okay? So that's the four corners of the earth right there. You got what they call the northwest, which is Babylon, the western hemisphere. You got Egypt, that's Africa. Asia, that's what, Far East. And you have Syria, which is the so-called Middle East. Right? So the Lord said destruction is coming throughout the world. Verse 2, gird up yourselves with clothes of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. So the Lord is warning the world, sending a message to the world through or by the mouth of his prophets, who are the apostles and elders of great millstones. Okay, first and foremost, right? Verse 3, a sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? So the Lord said a sword is sent, which a sword represents destruction. Who may turn it back? Meaning nobody. Nobody can turn back the so-called sands of time, if you will. And the Lord preordained he preordained, which means he said it before, of what will happen in these times. These different judgments that's going to befall these different nations. And it's not for no reason. It's because these nations are wicked. These nations are evil. All these different nations of the world, they're all ran by a corrupt elite. Okay? Heathen nations. And you got some of these nations that you have Jake involved in, some of these African nations. You got Jake in leadership and power, but they all answer, as well as these other nations, they all answer to the so-called white man, Esau here, who is the wicked according to the Bible. And he teaches these other nations how to perfect their evil, how to perfect their wickedness. So they're basically, like it says in Psalms 83, they made a confederacy. Okay? And these nations are about to go down with Esau. Which, Lord, when we get that Psalms 83, let's get it. Because I mentioned it.
And the whole world's going away from office.
Okay, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 83 and 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. hold not thy peace and be not still, O God. Right, if the Lord was to be still, that basically means he's not allowing, well, should I say he's not doing nothing to stop these different nations from achieving their New World Order agenda. Okay, basically, the psalmist which is Asaph, is pleading with the Lord to not allow these devils to win. Okay, and they think they're going to win, but they're not going to win. Verse 2, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult. Who are the Lord's enemies? The heathen nations. Okay, people would say, oh, well, because God made these nations, that means he loved them. You got people that think that God loves everybody. Just because he created them don't mean that he loves them. He grants them mercy, right? He grants them, he shows different nations favor and bless them in certain ways, but he don't love them. Love is a very strong word, and the Lord only loves his people. The nation of Israel, okay? Starting with the elect. Okay. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, meaning they're making a noise, they're plotting, they're scheming. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Right? These different nations, they're proud. They hate the Most High, first and foremost, because they know that he's not for them. Okay, the God of the Bible, whose true name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, they're only for the nation of Israel. The Most High is not for any of these different nations. And they know that. They know that the Creator is only for a certain particular group of people. And they know who those people are. Right? We just had, I believe, the Syrian president. He was having some type of meeting. He was on stage saying how what? Saying how those gutter rats over there in the Middle East are not the people, and that they're Khazars. So if they know who the people aren't, that means that they know who the people are. They know who the true Israelites are. But they benefit, they all mutually benefit by maintaining the secret and maintaining the lie. You see? But now that's starting to backfire on these devils. Because these Amalekites, these small hats, people claiming to be us, they taking it real far. They're taking it too far in the minds of these other nations. So even though they know they're not the people, they have to deal with them. Because the last thing they want is for us to get in power. All right? Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Okay? So these different nations, they have a covenant with one another. They have an agreement with one another. And that agreement is to profit off the suffering of the nation of Israel. Going back to the transatlantic slave trade. And before that, the sub-Saharan slave trade. These different nations work with one another to enslave these people. And by these people, I mean the true house of Judah, which are the Negroes, the true house of Benjamin, which are so-called West Indians, the true Levites, which are the so-called Haitians, over here in the Western Hemisphere, which would be the kingdom of Judah, which are the true Jews. The word Jew goes back to Judah. Okay? And you ask a lot of these small hat people what tribe they go back to, they'll most of the time they'll say Judah, or they'll say Yehuda or Levi, but they'll never mention the other tribes. Right? And if you actually go into the history, you'll see all these different nations played a different role in our suffering. So they gotta pay for that. All right, they said, "Come and let us cut off Israel from being a nation." What do they mean by that? Because obviously today they have what the fake state of Israel. Okay, which they created in the year of 1948 through the help of the UN and Great Britain and America. Okay? They're not the true people. But, so obviously they are cutting off the name by cutting off the true people from that name. And one of the ways they did that is through the transatlantic slave trade. They beat our true nationality out of them. Okay, even the Northern Kingdom, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native, indigenous people over here in America, they indoctrinated them over here as well. They slaughtered the majority of them, brought diseases over here. Christopher Columbus was a so-called Jew. You can look that up, okay? He sailed, the day he set sail from Spain was the same day, the last day that those small hats had to leave Spain. And he was looking for a land that his people could go to and manipulate people and rape, rob, and murder like their history shows that they do. Okay? Then after that they put up these these Gadites, these Reubenites in boarding schools, indoctrinating them to this day. Okay? They are the same people behind the so-called civil rights era, the NAACP, Martin Luther King, these different black churches, because they work hand in hand with the Vatican to keep our people asleep and believing that so-called Jesus Christ, which we all know what that goes back to, a false image. So this is crafty counsel. This is high-level sorcery that these devils and these nations are working. But we know through the spirit of power, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh it's all gonna come down to an end. Okay? Consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. So that's their agreement. They may war with each other. They may fight amongst each other, have disagreements, backdoor each other. But what they agree on, they all agree on keeping the true 12 tribes of the nation of Israel asleep. Okay? Because they know if we come back to our power, that's the end for all of them. And this is the time that we're in. That's why the Lord has these different Israelite groups popping up, starting with the true prophets, okay? But you got Jake finding out the Israelites left and right, all over the place, all the tribes. And these different nations can see that. They see what's going on, so they're afraid. So like it says in Revelation 12:12, right? The devil's going to come down with great wrath, knowing that he has but a short time. So we're living in some very extreme times, very exciting times. And all these different things, these different forces, okay, these different high-level chess pieces that's being moved on this board of life has all been predestinated, okay? Which we can look to in this book, the scriptures, and find out the prophecies, okay? But you gotta have a true prophet to break it down for you. So going back to 2nd Ezra, and 5, they speaking to these different nations. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? So again, Revelation 12:12, Esau going to come down like come down with great wrath, right? But is that going to stop the prophecy? Is that going to turn them back? In Esau's mind, he believes that if he can ultimately, fulfill his enterprise, as he likes to chant and reaffirm himself that he will, right? He believes if he can accomplish that, then he will upset the prophecies. And he, in some way, in his dark, twisted mind, he feels like he can pull a fast one on the Most High. But guess what? The Most High programmed his mind to think that way. The same like you read in the story with Moses and Pharaoh. Okay? The Most High lifted up Pharaoh's heart with pride. Every time Moses went to ask him to let his people go, let the Israelites go that we may serve the Lord and keep our customs, right? The Most High hardened Pharaoh's heart, so the Lord can send more plagues upon him. The Lord can send more judgments upon him. That's the same thing that's happening right now. If Esau doesn't buck up, if his mind, he accepts the judgment, accepts what's going to happen, and just lays down and falls before the Lord looking for mercy, then these prophecies wouldn't be able to play out the way the Most High ordained them to. So Esau has to, Esau has orders. And we understand that these high-level elites, okay, these Luciferians, so-called, they believe they have the light, the so-called Illuminati, but their light is darkness, right? They believe that evil is good and that good is evil. They're twisted, right? They're taking orders from the left hand of the Most High. Because we understand through the scriptures that the Most High, right, is in control of good and evil. He created good and evil. So these elite in the Vatican, these elite elite banking families, these are top level warlocks and enchanters of the world that control everything behind the scenes. They're taking orders from the spiritual demon Satan and his lower minions, right? Who are in turn ultimately are taking orders from Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. So this thing is all orchestrated. These devils ain't doing nothing the Lord don't want them to do. They're not getting away with nothing that the Lord don't see, right? This is all playing out because the Lord wants it to. Point blank, period. And we have to have the faith that the Lord is going to keep us through it all. Knowing that all these things are predestinated. Knowing these things are preordained. Knowing that this is a movie, right? Knowing how it ends. It ends with salvation. It ends with the elect getting beamed up and delivered. And this place that has held us in captivity being destroyed. We have to know that. We have to move with that confidence, with that knowledge, in action and practicality, you know? Talking to myself first. So, when all hell breaks loose, like it says in Psalm 91, you're going to see these people being dropped, being put to death. But you got to know in your spirit that the Lord is with you. Every day, even now, starting now. The way we move, going about in our life, we should really be moving, you know, not trying to sound bugged out, but we're really supposed to be moving like this is a video game, in a sense. Not that this life is not serious or that it's a joke, but and you play in any video game, the character is not controlling himself. You're controlling the character. Well, we are the Lord's character. The Lord is in control. He's the programmer. He programmed this system. He created this storyline. He created our characters. He created the bad guy. He created the different levels, different missions that we have to accomplish in the spirit. So is the Lord going to lose in his own game? No. Right? 2nd Ezra 16:6. May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it has begun to burn? Those are rhetorical questions. No. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The answer is no. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? You see that? So the Lord is sending these plagues, sending these judgments. And who is he that can drive them away? All right, which makes me think about this new Netflix movie, Leave the World Behind. Right? Yeah, the one scene with the main character, the Jake, he was talking to Julia Roberts' character, right? And he was talking about the different elites that's pulling the strings in the earth, and he said what? He said, really, nobody's pulling the strings. And what I took from that was, the Most High is in control. The Most High is the one really pulling the strings. Right? So people in the world that understand these different so-called conspiracy theories, they may understand how things really operate in the world. They're not blindsided and fooled into believing that voting really matters and that your politicians are really in control and you vote them in, and the bullshit lies they feed us in school and on the news, right? If they understand that part, yet they don't have the full truth, they think that the elites are really in control. But it's not until you come into the truth and really find out that the Most High is in control. The Lord is the one controlling these devils. So they're not really pulling those strings. They're on strings. They're getting pulled. Their strings getting pulled. The Lord got us all on strings. The Lord is the ultimate puppet master. Okay? And we're the Lord's puppets. Okay, meat puppets, if you will. Let me get that. This is Romans chapter 9. And let's start at 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Who's Jacob? Yashar Allah, Israel. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay? And Esau is the so-called white man. Esau here. So the Lord loves us and he hates them. Right? And the scripture tell you that's just the way he wanted. That's just the way it is. It was like that before Jacob and Esau were even born. The Lord already chose who he wanted and who he didn't. Right? Verse 14, what shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? God forbid. No, the Lord ain't unrighteous because he loves who he want to love and he hate who he want to hate. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. You see that? So then it is not of them that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God that showeth mercy. You can't force the Lord to show you mercy. Okay? And without the mercies of the Lord, then you're consumed. If the Lord don't have mercy on you, that means he's going to judge you in wrath. Everybody's going to be judged. And ultimately, the Lord is going to judge the whole nation of Israel with mercy and the whole nation of Esau with wrath. Now we understand we're coming into a time known as Jacob's trouble, where the Lord is going to destroy 2/3 of our people here in America, because in spirit they side with Esau. So they're going to be destroyed with Esau. But they're going to come back in the kingdom of heaven. Right? Romans 11 and 26. But getting back to the point, verse 17, for the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. So the Lord is, just like he used Pharaoh, Pharaoh was a high-level king, what they would call a God king. Pharaoh believed himself to be a god, to be the Most High God. He thought he was a descendant of Ra or some shit like that. Those bugged out ass Hamites believe. Hamites believe all type of bugged out weirdo shit, man. That's why you Negroes all into black consciousness and Kemet, okay? You bug the hell out. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. A lot of you jakes that think of that shit are real weirdos in real life. You know? Because them demonic Hamite spirits is getting on you. Right? But the point is, Pharaoh was proud. He was very, especially that Pharaoh. Because when you read the story of Exodus, right, our people, they, you know, the pharaohs before, well, initially, you know the story, our people, they were all right in Egypt. They were straight. They had respect amongst the Hamites to a degree, right? But then it came to a point where those Egyptians saw our people as a threat. So they put them in hardcore bondage. And this Pharaoh, right, he grew up alongside of Moses to a degree. Because I believe his father was the father of the Egyptian princess that took Moses in as a son. right? So this Pharaoh, he thought he was hot shit. He really thought he was hot shit. He looked at Moses like Moses wasn't shit. Like looking at Moses like, oh, you rather go be with them, like you had it good living with us. So he was really despising Moses, despising the people of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay? So the Lord turned that pride up even higher, just like today. These elites are very proud because of all the accomplishments, these carnal and worldly accomplishments that they have, accomplished in the earth. The different witchcraft, the different sorceries, like it says in Isaiah 47. Okay, matter of fact, we're going to get that. This is Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Right. Once again, that's speaking about America. The Lord said, come and sit in the dust, meaning being brought to a state of confusion, which is befitting because the name Babylon in the Hebrew, Babal, means confusion. Okay? And this land is manifesting itself. That omen in the spirit that the Lord gave unto this place is manifesting itself. Okay? That's why you can walk down the street and look at somebody and you don't know what you're looking at. You don't know if that person is a male or a female or what. You're confused. Okay? The people are confused. They want to confuse the children. Right? And when you really get into it, it's these Amalekites, these small hats behind the scenes that's purposefully confusing people. They want people to be in a confused state. Because when you're in a confused state, you're more easier to control. Right? Like it says in Isaiah the 19th chapter, the Lord has mingled a perverse spirit in the midst of Egypt, which is the modern day Egypt, which is America. So these people, and it's going to elevate on a higher level too. In the time of the COVID, the C-19, 2020, these people were confused out here. They didn't know what the hell was going on. And it showed people in the grocery stores, right, ready to kill each other over toilet paper. Is that not confusion? That's fear and confusion, which they also said in the movie Leave the World Behind. They said that, one of the ways to destroy a nation from the inside is to get the people very confused to the point where they just start attacking one another, attacking each other. Isaiah 47, again, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, right? I mean, a virgin daughter because this nation hasn't really seen, because it's on the Western Hemisphere, it's detached from the rest of the world, right? It hasn't really seen great warfare like these other nations have. Especially like World War I, World War II. When Europe was getting blown to hell and back. These different Middle Eastern nations get blown to hell and back. But over here in America, these people, even though it's a lot of violence in America, the violence is really domestic violence. Right? Outside of so-called 9/11, and Pearl Harbor, you can't really think about America getting bombed like that by another nation on their own surf, on their own soil. So this nation hasn't really been touched like that with war, with violence. So she's proud, she's lifted up. That's why you got these people. You'll speak about World War III. You'll speak about these different nations having beef with America, looking at America to destroy it, and they'll say, "Oh, we have the greatest military. We have the best weaponry. No nation could touch us. No nation could do this or that to us." That's that virgin mentality, because you never been popped before. You don't know what it's like to get penetrated like that. So you're proud, you're not humble. But these nations will touch America, and this land will be humble. Okay? Verse 2. Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg. Uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers. Okay? So it's time for this woman. The Lord is likening this nation to a woman, which kingdoms in the scriptures many times are referred to as different women, and throughout history. Okay? When an army would come in and take over a nation, that's like a man taking over a woman. Okay? So the Lord is basically saying, get out of that high and lofty mentality. You being brought down to the level of a low level woman, not a royal woman. Okay? Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. Okay? So America is not what it used to be. At one point in time, okay, especially really after World War II, right? America really started to look like, or to be hot shit in the world. But all that is coming to an end. Verse 4. As for our Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. And the Chaldeans were the upper class of ancient Babylon. And they were sorcerers. Okay? When you really get into these different heathen nations and these old world kingdoms, the elites were always into witchcraft. Just like today, the American higher society, they're different part of different secret societies. Okay, the elite, even amongst our people, you have what's known as the boule, right? And it's coming out now on men like Diddy, on men like T.D. Jakes, different men that are part of these different wicked secret societies, like Jay-Z. Okay? They're being exposed. These different weirdos in Hollywood. Look at what the Epstein list they say is about to come out in early 2024. Your politicians, your so-called Hollywood entertainers, they're all a part of these secret societies that practice and work witchcraft. That's how they got to that spot that they're in, and that's how they maintain that spot that they're in, that influence, that power, that authority. They summon spirits to aid them get rich, to aid their business getting successful, to aid them getting a movie role or whatever the hell, a different deal, this deal with this high corporation, and to be able to sit at this table, okay? And that's how it always been. Verse 6, I was wroth with my people, who are the Lord's people, again the Israelites, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Yeah.
I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thine hand. Who were the Israelites given to? Those gutter rats over there, they ain't served no slavery, man. Okay? Our people did. And it says we were given to them. Why? Because we're more powerful than them. In might, in physical might, in spiritual might. Right? When we're in align with our power. So how did they take us down? Because the Lord gave us over to them. Why? Because we turned our back on Him as a nation, as a people, and worship idols. So the Lord said, I'm going to allow your enemies to destroy you. Okay? Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou verily heavily laid the yoke. So Esau, he didn't have no mercy on none of us as a people. Even though the Lord gave us over into his hand, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? Esau forwarded the affliction. He went above and beyond the call of duty. He enjoyed every last bit of, up until this day, oppressing our people. Why? Because of the birthright. That old anger and hatred that he had going back. Okay? To the beginning. Verse 7. And thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever. Right? The American thing, that these people, they, like it says in Psalms, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. So they think that they're going to be able to keep moving the goalposts and keep avoiding judgment and keep fulfilling their agendas and just escape judgment forever. A lot of these people think that America is going to last forever. There's been no nation or kingdom on earth that's around right now that's always been around. Nations come up and they go down. The Lord bringeth up, He bringeth down. Okay? The Lord brought up the ancient Babylonian kingdom, the Assyrian kingdom. Okay? The Greeks, the Romans. And the Lord took them all down. Okay? And He's going to take down this modern Roman day empire. Okay? Which that's the real reason why they're so proud. Because they had the longest stretch with this revised Roman Empire. As the scriptures talk about that deadly head, deadly wound being healed of the beast, right? So when America came back into power, the different nations, they marveled at that. Okay? So that thou did not lay these things to thy heart, neither did remember the latter end of it. So these people don't think there's going to be a judgment for the people of the Lord being totally slaughtered and forced to serve captivity for centuries and to be totally oppressed right now, to this day. They think that there is no judgment for that. Hundreds of millions of souls destroyed, or lives destroyed on earth. All that bloodshed, all that rape, robbery, murder, all that deception, all that witchcraft. They think they're going to just ride off into the sunset. Even to the point where our own people would rather just forget about it. Forget it, act like it never happened. Even though they still being shot down in the streets. Even though they still the last fire, first fire. Even, they still having psychological operations ran on them. They still having their money funneled away out of their communities, right out of their pocket. Still being poisoned, physically and mentally. Still having our families and our men and women being turned against each other. Our people are in a worse state today than they ever was. But because they got a smartphone, because they got Netflix, because they got Twitter, because they got Instagram, because they got Uber Eats, they think everything is fine. They think everything is cool. That's why the scriptures say, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. It is polluted. It will destroy you, even with a sword of destruction. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Yet our people, they still don't want to repent. So the Lord is going to have to work a work that He's never worked before. Verse 8, therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and no else beside me. Is that not what America says? Is that not how these people feel? America is the best place on earth. Right? These people, a lot of these people, they feel like America is the kingdom of heaven. In their mind, in their spirit, subconsciously, they believe America is the kingdom of heaven. They hear about these different stories of America, stealing from these different nations, corrupting different nations. And they'll act like they never heard about it. And when we bring out the judgment out of the scriptures and let you know America is to be destroyed by nuclear fire, they brush it off. They think that's unfair. They think that's not right. Like America doesn't fully deserve all the judgment that's coming to it. Showing you these people are deceived and ultimately they're wicked as hell their damn self. They'd rather America keep going with the wickedness. Okay. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Right? That they think that this nation not going to get cut off. Verse 9, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day. Right, because America is going to be destroyed in 1 hour, according to biblical prophecy. In 1 hour, it's going to go from as the Garden of Eden to total fire. They shall come upon thee. Right. The loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection. Why? For the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. Okay? So that's ultimately why America's going to be destroyed. the abundance of the even here in Miami, they want to rebrand it as Magic City. When you really look around American culture, if you really take a good look, it all revolves around sorcery. It all revolves around witchcraft. You got one of these biggest media corporations, if not the biggest, is what, Disney. They own every goddamn thing, damn near, and still buying up more stuff. Every movie, everything Disney put out got something to do with witchcraft. Got something to do with magic and sorcery. And who they push it on? They push it on the children, right? Every year they getting ready to. What you had you just had the winter solstice. And you know they was doing all type of rituals then, but we have Monday is so-called Christmas. Right? And what does Christmas go back to? Christmas goes back to the Roman practice of Saturnalia, which was a feast, right? I believe it was a week-long feast or 21-day-long feast, something like that. 2-week feast where the Romans would just get drunk every day, party and have orgies, freaking off. And it was all a dedication to those different Roman gods. To Saturn or whoever, really to the spiritual demon Satan. Right? Even if you get into the history, even here in America, originally Christmas was outlawed. It was against the law to celebrate Christmas till I think like 18-something. 1830 something, 1860 something, for being a pagan custom. But here we are, fast forward, it's 2023, and they have so much, everybody knows, damn near everybody knows, if you've been living in America for the last 10, 20 years, if you weren't born here, right, you know, or you have heard that Christmas is a pagan custom. It has nothing to do with the Bible. It has nothing to do with the God of the Bible. It's not who you call Jesus' birthday. Okay? The Lord was born in the springtime, first and foremost, during the time of the Passover. Right? But yet these people, even so-called Christians, so-called God-fearing Christians, will every year celebrate this so-called holiday, which means holy day, a set-apart day. And all these different holidays, they go back to some form of sorcery or witchcraft. But these are the high days of American culture, like Halloween, like Thanksgiving. You got a lot of different activity, a lot of travel, a lot of commerce. It's dedicated and really is dedicated, and it flows because of these so-called holidays. And Amalek profit off it. You got niggas going in debt every year to buy the kids so-called Christmas gifts. Right? And it's wicked. Any damn way. Right? And Lord willing, this is the last Christmas. Lord willing, this is the last Christmas that these people so-called celebrate. Because we know 2024 is going to be a hell of a year. 2024 is going to be a hell of a year. Okay? It's going to be a lot of death and destruction. A lot of people getting slaughtered. Okay? A lot of these people that's walking up and down the street, that's getting ready to celebrate Christmas, they're going to die in 2024. The Lord going to turn a lot of TVs off. Okay? The Lord willing, the Lord have mercy on us and our family. Right? So going on, Isaiah 47:10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. That's why they call them secret societies. They take vows. They perform oaths. That if they reveal any secrets or information about the club, they get whacked. Well, first they get exposed with all the wicked shit they got on tape with these people doing. They get exposed, and then they get whacked. Okay? And that's what's happening to Puff Daddy right now. And it's going to be a lot more of these individuals, these so-called elites getting so-called exposed. A lot of them are humiliation rituals. A lot of them are people stepping out of line. And a lot of it is Esau wants these things to come out. He wants people to have a distrust for the government. Okay, this whole shit with Epstein and Maxwell and shit, they pushing it out. They have times and dates allotted where, okay, in this date we're going to reveal such and such. We're going to have I forget what they call it, but basically they have classified documents, the FBI, the CIA, and they say, well, these documents are classified until this year, and then we're going to have a exposure on it. So in these, especially these last few years, in the months to come, they're going to be releasing a lot of shit. Okay? I believe they released a lot of files on 9/11 last year. And that's a part of revelation of the method. Okay? Because when this RFID microchip is made mandatory, when this Neuralink is made mandatory, okay? In spirit, these people are going to know that they're siding with the devil. The same people that's up in Epstein Island, popping little children, little boys, little girls, that's committing cannibalism. That's the same people, worshiping Satan, doing all type of rituals and wickedness, sacrificing, right? Drinking blood. These same people, you're going to let them put a computer chip in your brain? You're going to let them inject you with some juice they did in the lab? And in the same lab, they're doing rituals in the lab? But these people, a lot of these people, they're going to do it. Why? So that they can eat, so that they can have their status in society, so that they can still keep a decent social credit score, so that they can freely travel and buy like they want to. Within 15 minutes, because it's going to have smart cities, right? They're going to do that. Just for that. And in their spirit, they're going to be condemned. Our people that take that Quran, they're going to be condemned. Because they know they're going off. The Lord is going to put that spirit of condemnation in our people that take that Quran. And when the missiles is flying, you're going to know you ain't going to make it. You're going to be seeing different brothers different sisters getting beamed up, and you know you ain't gonna make it because you took that Karagma. On top of other things. Okay? Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me. Right. These different nations, they through their different so-called pharmaceutical companies, right? Which the word pharmaceutical or pharmacy goes back to what? The Greek pharmakeia, which means witchcraft, right? But they create these different diseases, and these different off the record laboratories ducked off in China, ducked off in different parts of the world, experimenting on people, creating things that can rearrange your genetic code. They playing with bodies, they doing all type of weird shit. So in his mind, he think he's God. They got what they call now, which is not new, but they're talking about it more and more now, called CRISPR, which is gene editing. Okay? They're talking about designer babies. Just like they showed you in that movie Gattaca with Ethan Hawke. They had the elites. They were like, nobody was producing naturally anymore. If you were part of the elites, they were the only ones really having children like that. And they were designing their children the way they wanted. These color eyes, look like this, shaped like that. And the regular people that was born naturally, they were lower in society. They were looked at as lower class. But the edited people were on the higher class. That's what they really want to do. That's why they want to put that Karagma in you. Okay? Through his so-called medical industry, and they merging it with technology. They want to merge man with machine. They want to unlock the brain. They want to be able to program people and control people with the flip of a switch, like the Most High does, in his way, how he does it. But they want to do it in their way of technology, right? In the name of technology, which is witchcraft. That's all it is, sorcery. Okay? But that knowledge that the Lord gave him through the left hand, it bugged him out. It made him proud. That goes back to Pharaoh having his heart hardened. And that's just the stuff that we know about. Imagine how much that they, power they have and technology, sorcery they have behind closed doors that we don't even know about. Right? This man has weapon modification systems that they can use for war or for terrorizing people, to create famines, to create earthquakes. Right? They got direct energy weapons, set different lands on fire from space. Right? So they think they're God. So they think that they can never go down. And that's exactly what the Lord wants from them. He wants them to feel like that. He wants them to think that way. So it can be that much greater when ultimately he takes them down. And he's getting ready to take these nations down. That's why you have these different nations getting ready for World War III. The Lord is causing these different nations to go to World War III. And ultimately he's going to take them all down at once. Okay, verse 11. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. Right? So that show you right there the Most High is the one pulling the strings. The Lord is going to have things being done that's outside of Esau's control. The scriptures say that the heavens shall be affrighted. So these different elites of the world, they're afraid. They're afraid of what's to come. They try to put on a front like they have everything in control, and they don't have everything in control. Okay? And mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off. You see? So there you go. There's a certain level of power that Esau can't touch, that the Most High will not allow him to obtain, no matter what he does. Okay? And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Okay, so there you go. Suddenly desolation is going to come. Which, that knowing that is fulfilling in itself, because we know these devils is very proud. They're very proud. They think they're going to get away. They think they get away with everything. But the Lord said they're going to put something on them. They ain't going to get away from it. Right? Verse 12, stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. Right. Esau been a warlock. The serpent in the garden was a warlock. You look up the word serpent in Genesis, was that the 3rd chapter, second or 3rd chapter, it goes back to the Hebrew word nachash, which means a warlock, an enchanter, a soothsayer, a magician, okay, a wizard. And that's what Esau is. He embodies that, right? Which really, you know, to break it down, the simplest term to be a warlock or a wizard or a witch is to rebel against the Most High. Rebellion is at the sin of witchcraft. You're trying to go around the Most High. You're trying to outsmart the Lord by tapping into his left-hand side, which you can't escape the Lord, man. These different people that's practicing sorcery, that's doing witchcraft, the Most High is allowing that to happen. And he sees it all. And when the time comes, he's gonna pull that power back, just like he did in ancient Egypt. When Moses was performing the different signs, the different plagues, you had the Egyptians, the magicians of Egypt, of Pharaoh, was performing some of those same plagues, those same signs, right? But after a certain level, they couldn't go past, right? Moses threw down his staff, it became a snake, and then they threw their staffs down, they became snakes. But the staff of Moses swallowed up his snake, or his staff swallowed up theirs, showing you that the power of the right-hand side is stronger than the power of the left-hand side. But these people, in their pride, they don't understand that. They don't see that. The Lord won't allow them to see that. Right? If so be that shalt be able to profit. If so be thou mayest prevail. Right. So the Lord is being funny, like maybe you can win. If you do enough witchcraft, if you do enough sorcery, maybe you might be able to defeat me. And the Lord is being funny with it. Right? Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Right? Because they practice all type of rituals, all type of sorcery. And when you look at somebody like, especially these jakes down here in Miami, or anywhere where there's a lot of witchcraft going on, especially our people jakes, and they get into those different sorceries, get into that voodoo, get into that Santeria, the deeper they get into that shit, the more aged they look, the more drained they look, the more weary they look. Because that shit sucks the life out of you. Okay? Look at fucking Jacob Rothschild. Look at the queen before she died. Looked at like hell, man. Her son, he looked like hell. King Charles, whatever. Okay? So they put in a lot of effort, there are a lot of sacrifices, there are a lot of wickedness to try to achieve their New World Order, and they're not going to achieve it. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Again, the Lord is being funny. The Lord is like, call your best warlocks, man. Call your most powerful sorcerers, like in the Vatican, to try to stop these different plagues and judgments that's coming on your ass. And you can't. Verse 14, behold, they shall be as stubble, and fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter, none shall save thee. So there you go. Esau is through. You hit the end of the road. You can't go no further than what the Lord has already ordained that you go. And there's no ritual, there's no God or goddess that you can consult with that's going to be able to save you from Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. The demons, the spiritual demons, Satan, they all answer to the Lord. They're not doing nothing that the Lord didn't already, command them to do. So, Esau, you should be very afraid, man. You elites, you should be very scared. Okay, I see why you're gonna come down with the great wrath that you're getting ready to come down with. But as the scriptures say, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. So, do your worst. Okay? That's all I gotta say. Do your worst. But the Lord got this thing. Feel bad. Romans 9 again. Back in Romans chapter 9 and 18. Therefore hath he mercy on whom he hath mercy, and whom he will, he hardeneth. So if the Lord wants to have mercy on the individual, open up his mind, pour out his spirit and his truth on that individual. An Israelite, of course, he can do that. If the Lord want to harden somebody's heart, right, so that he can destroy them, he can do that too. The Lord can do whatever he wants to do. And there ain't a damn thing that anybody can or will do about it. Okay? Verse 19. Thou wilt say unto me, why doeth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? Right. So if that's people, well, a lot of people say, well, if that's the case, then why is he judging people if he's in control of what they do anyway? Well, nay, but O man, who art thou that repliest against God? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? So it's not even our place as humans to even question the Most High. We're his creature, we're his creation. If he didn't create us to be the way that we are, we wouldn't exist. And again, the Lord does what he wants to do. And that understanding that, knowing that, brings the peace of the Most High. True peace of mind. The peace that passes understanding. Knowing that the Lord is truly in control of everything and everyone. It brings a level of comfort that can only be obtained through fully understanding that. Verse 21, have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? Right. Does not God have a say-so over his creation? Just like an artist have a say-so over his artwork? If a movie writer has it to where a certain character is killed off, or goes through this or goes through that, is the character going to buck up against the writer and say, why you wrote my story to be this way? No. There's a bigger picture going on that's bigger than all of us, okay? We're all just pawns. Okay? We're all just the Most High's pawns. Verse 22, what if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? Okay? So what if the Lord wants to show his wrath, show his power to the inhabitants of the earth? How would he do that? Well, he would need somebody to buck up against him. And that's Esau's story. He's the bad guy. Somebody has to play the role. It sucks to be him. Okay, and that's the way it is. But it says they're vessels of wrath fitted to destruction. So the Most High created them for destruction. That's his sole purpose. So you telling me Edomite can make it? Hell no. And that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he have afore prepared unto glory. Okay? So there's a certain people that's created to be destroyed in a glorious fashion. And there's a group of people that were created to receive mercy and grace in a glorious fashion. So the Lord can show both sides. Alright? You can't have good without evil. You can't have joy without pain. You can't have sunshine without rain. It is what it is. The Most High is balanced. Right? A false balance is abomination to the Lord. Let me get this. When I can find this. Going back to what if the Most High willing to show his wrath and make his power known, right?
Maybe they think that Josh is in.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 12, and verse 12. For who shall say, what hast thou done? Or who shall withstand thy judgment? Or who shall accuse thee for the nations that perish, whom thou hast made? Right. If the Lord want to create a nation and destroy him, who going to do anything about it? Can't nobody do anything about it. Who going to say nothing? Nobody. Let anybody say something, they the next to go. Right? Or who shall come to stand against thee to be revenged for the unrighteous men? For neither is there any God but thou. So it's only one God. So whoever gets mad at God, you can take that up with God. Your arms are too short to box with God. Nobody's arms are long enough to box with the Most High. So whatever judgment the Most High lay out, you just gotta accept it. For neither is there any God but thou that careth for all, to whom thou mightest show that thy judgment is not unright. Right, so the Lord has to uphold everybody. Even these Edomites right now, the Lord gotta sustain them to even do their wickedness that they're doing. The Lord have to wake them up every morning. The Lord make it the sun to shine on the wicked, the just and the unjust. He give it rain around the earth. Right? Verse 14, neither shall king or tyrant be able to set his face against thee for any whom thou hast punished. So talking to the elites. They can't do shit against Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You understand they're going to try to fight against the Lord physically when he returns, but they can't do shit. They're going to get blown away. Right? For so much then as thou art righteous thyself, thou orderest all things righteously, thinking it not agreeable with thy power to condemn him that have not deserved to be punished. Okay? So the Lord punishes people that deserve to be punished. Like it says in the book of Job, who have perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? And the fact of the matter is we're all guilty. Ain't none of us innocent. And that's talking to the nation of Israel. That's our people. How much more the heathen? They don't have any righteousness about them. Any fear of the Lord about them. So when you see people getting judged, they deserve to get judged. If you see a baby die, they deserve that. Why? Because reincarnation. Right? Verse 16, Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 16, for thy power is the beginning of righteousness, and because thou art the Lord of all, it maketh thee to be gracious unto all. Right. The Lord is gracious unto all. Knowing that he's the Lord of all, he's in control of all. Right? He understands that if he don't be gracious to people, who will? His creation wouldn't be able to be sustained unless he is the one that sustains it. That's what that means. The Lord has to keep up with his creation. That doesn't mean that he loves them or sees them as he sees his people. Verse 17, this is the key point. For when men will not believe, right, going back to Romans 9, right, what if the Most High is willing to show his wrath? For when men will not believe that thou art of a full power, thou showest thy strength, and among them that know it, thou makest their boldness manifest. So there you go. When men will not believe that God is of a full power, meaning he has complete power, complete control to do whatever the hell he wants to do. When you have people in large groups, different nations, and millions of people on earth, billions of people thinking that he don't have that power, he shows it. That's what the flood was all about. Everybody on earth but 8 souls dead. From a fully inhabited planet like today to 8 people within 40 days. And the Lord is going to do something very similar, in a similar fashion, but with fire. First and foremost to America, which is the lake of fire, the coming lake of fire. Right? But it says, but among them that know it, you make their boldness manifest. So we understand the type of power that the Most High has. That's why we can come out here on the streets and proclaim it, be made a fool to play the fool, to look like a fool, to be humiliated, to be mocked. We'll gladly do it and we'll do it boldly because we know this thing is true. Just like Noah did. Prophesied over 100 years as he built the ark, letting the people know that the flood was coming, and they didn't believe him. That's bold faith. Because when the Lord shows you things, you can't act like you ain't see it. We know this thing of ours is true. And soon you all will too. Right? That's the beautiful part. Verse 18, but thou, mastering thy power, judgest with equity, and orderest us with great favor, for thou mayest use power when thou wilt. Okay? So, we understand that the Lord is a righteous judge. Okay? He with equity. He deals with righteousness. All right. So we like it says in Proverbs, the wicked understand not judgment, but they that keep the law understand all things. Roughly paraphrasing. So we understand the judgments of the Lord. So we don't get upset when we see gay clubs get shot up. Okay? We don't get or even when these niggas get put to death, in the club, being wicked, committing adultery, the Bacchus spirit, right? Partying, bullshit, and in the end of the world, when these niggas get killed by the cops, we don't feel bad for them either. So we understand that when people get judged, that's the will of the Lord. When we get judged, we don't get mad. When we get judged, we thank Yahweh Hashem Yahushai for his judgment. Because then we know we're not bastards. We know the Lord loves us. The Lord chastises those who he loves. Right? And the Lord has been chastising Israel as a nation over and over again, but they don't seem to get it. So the Lord is going to shift all that mercy, that grace onto a particular group of people from off of the whole nation and put it on a particular group of individuals within the nation, and the rest is just going to get left out there. And in the times to come, you don't want to be left out there. You want the Lord to keep that hedge about you. You want the Lord to be looking out for you. You want the Lord to remember you. There's going to be so much judgment out here on these streets. There's going to be so many bodies dropping. You're going to wish that God was on your side. But if you're not laboring in the fear of the Lord right now, there's no way for you to obtain that when all hell is breaking loose. The Lord is going to have other priorities. You're not going to be a priority in that day. You have to reserve your spot on the mercy train right now. Okay? You got to RSVP with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And how do you do that? First and foremost, you got to repent. You got to turn to the Lord. You got to stop acting like you got it all, that you know it all, that you don't need the Lord. And I ain't talking about sweet Jesus. Okay, I'm talking about Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The same God that led us over here in cargo slave ships. And the same God that's going to deliver us by way of those so-called UFOs, the spaceships, the chariots of Israel. Chapter 16. I'm going to jump down to verse 17. Woe is me who will deliver me in those days. You see, so the ancient prophets, when they had these visions, when they had these signs of the end times, it felt like they were there. It was like a movie, and they were in the movie. Why? Because in spirit they would be on the earth today, actually playing out those visions that the Lord gave them. All right? Verse 18, but even Ezra, a man of the Lord, acknowledged that somebody's going to have to save him. So why these people think that they don't need the Lord to save them? But as soon as somebody gets judged in their family, it's why God. As soon as they get a bad report from the doctor, it's why God. Right? Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. Who's that? That's the elites. The powers of this world, right? They're in fear because they losing control. They orchestrate a lot of these global events, but there's things taking place behind the scenes, and there's going to be things taking place in front of the scene, on the scene, that's not orchestrated, that's not a hoax. Real live judgment from Yahweh, straight from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. One thing he damn sure don't got no power over is the spirit. You see these different Israelite groups popping up, prophets popping up. That's really why you're afraid. Can't be paid off, can't be bought. Right? You get orders to leave them alone. You can't touch them. You can just gather intelligence. Trying to stir the pot, set up agents. Agents ain't working. Getting called out immediately. Hundreds of brothers doing videos. One agent pop up, you get, talking some crazy shit. The next few hours, 100 videos up. Watch out for this dude. So Esau understands, the Lord gonna force his hand, man. The Lord said, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Lord, we'll get that. So this devil ain't the man he used to be, man. His power is dwindling fast. It's like very good illustration was I believe the last King Arthur movie they made. And they had the uncle of Arthur, who was the king, but he stole the kingdom. I believe he killed King Arthur's father and took the kingdom, right? He made a deal with some demon, but he had to sacrifice his daughter, and he had power to be king, and he had spiritual powers doing shit, but after a while he had to keep doing sacrifices and whatnot, but his power kept dwindling. At the same time, once King Arthur found out who he was, when he got the sword, his power started going up and his uncle's power started going down. That's the same thing that's happening right now on earth today. There's a transfer of power going on, and it starts spiritually, but it's going to manifest to a physical level. But these elites, they already know what's going on. They already know they can feel a disturbance in the force. They can feel the force of light growing in the earth by way of the prophets being on the scene, by way of the truth being spread, by way of the elect being gathered, which is the only true threat to this man's system. Right? So there's power in this word being pushed. There's power in this vibration going out that Esau Edom cannot deny. No matter how light they try to make this truth and make different movies scoffing the truth. But if you don't know, you ain't really gonna be able to see. They really try to make jokes, throw jokes at us, scoff us. But deep down, he knows that what we're saying is true. That's why he got these different plans and agendas, like the Insurrection Act. That's why they got agendas to depopulate our people. And to get rid of the prophets. Get rid of the internet. Get rid of free speech. Get rid of freedom of religion. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So that's what people should be thinking about right now, man. Not about a fucking Christmas celebration. You should be thinking, how are you going to be delivered from the famine? How are you going to be delivered from the economic collapse that's getting ready to go down? America is in $33 trillion worth of debt. I say it again, America is in $33 trillion worth of debt. And like a third of that debt was accumulated within the last few years. This place is going out fast, man. Our salvation is nearer than when we believe. And just like Yahushua said, it's going to be like the days of Noah. These people don't see what the hell is going on. But the Lord told us this is how it's going to be. The Lord said they're not going to hear us. Majority of these people, right? Oh, let's keep reading. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So these different judgments that's taking place right now. 2020, the whole world shut down. People were stuck in their houses for months. Had plenty of time to contemplate their life. Had plenty of time to contemplate the state of the earth. The state of humanity. To contemplate how the Creator must feel with the satisfaction of the inhabitants of the earth. To consider the times. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Right? But guess what? But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So these people forgot about 2020. Because they stopped saying stay apart 6 feet, social distancing, that went out the window. People forgot about social distancing. They forgot about when you couldn't enter into the store unless you had the mask. They forgot about when it was glued to CNN, okay, which they have fake propaganda on there. They forgot when Times Square was totally empty. First time in the world, ever. The intersection of the world, like a ghost town. But like I Am Legend. Just a few years ago. People act like it never happened. Like the Lord can't do that again. Like that'll never happen again. Every week is something else in the news. Every day is something else in the news. Yet the people still don't want to repent. It's going on with their lives. But that's okay, because the Lord is going to get all these people's attention. And he's going to maintain your attention because the distractions are going to stop. The Lord is going to have all of you's complete and undivided attention real soon. But by that time, it's going to be totally too late for the most of you. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Right, you got gas going down. When gas go down, nigga get real comfortable. They can drive, go different places without really having to think like that. Right? They can still go to McDonald's, get a Mac chicken. Right? Niggas still Christmas shopping. So they think everything is cool. But what? And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. So there's going to be a worldwide famine. There's going to be a global famine. And many people of the earth are going to starve to death. Thus saith the Lord. And your own media is talking about global food insecurity. They're pushing agendas with their 2030 agenda, pushing the people to eat bugs, do away with meat. They're creating GMO ticks to spread diseases to the cattle. They're buying up land, buying up the water rights. So, to hoard up all the resources so that you people can't get them. What's that going to do? Famine. An artificial famine. A digital besieging of the city, of the nation. Halting transportation. Did they not do that in 2020? We're still feeling the effects from that. But people still think it's a game. And the other that escaped the hunger shall the sword destroy. Did you see that? Did not it just come out that multi-billionaire Mark Zuckerberg just bought a bunker in Hawaii? Why is that in the news? Why do they even want us to know about that? Because they're telling you in your face that shit is about to hit the fan. Where's your bunker? Full of a lifetime supply of resources. Meanwhile, they got laws on the book where if you got more than 3 days worth of food in your house, you could be labeled a terrorist. As a matter of fact, let me drop down to verse 67. Behold, 2 Ezra 16 and 67. I'm gonna jump down to 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision. And that's talking about they're going to be trying to put Qurans in people. They're going to try to put chips in people. Right? And if you accept it, you're going to be had in derision. Because they're going to be able to control your ass like a monkey. Like a robot. Okay? And a reproach and trodden underfoot. You're going to be a super slave. You think you're going to merge with AI and become a super genius and take over the stock market when really your ass is going to become a fucking Inspector Gadget ass nigga with no control, just geeking. Watch the movie Upgrade. Watch the movie Implanted. And the list goes on. Right? Verse 70, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Do they not have what they call the Insurrection Act? Where they're going to have different citizens in America labeled as terrorists that they got to take away to different detention centers and execute a lot of them for one reason or another. If you're anti-government, if you said anything against the government, if you have certain religious beliefs that don't align with whatever agenda they're pushing, they can just take you out. Indefinite detention, no trial, nothing. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So they're going to be coming after those that believe in the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. And that goes for all of our people, whether you know the truth or not. Because you're the only people that can fear the Lord. And Esau knows that. Right? But at this point it says what? Then shall they be known who are my chosen. And they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Right? Because when shit hits the fan, it's going to be made known who really believes in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Because the Lord is going to be with them, making miracles for them, delivering them, feeding them, while the whole world is starving and killing each other, losing their damn mind. Okay? So that's, pretty much it. Speaking on the different judgments that's coming to the world and the mercy that's coming. Okay? So with that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Abadash. Until the next one, shalom.